OK, let's bring in Sami Al-Arian, Director of the Centre for Islam and Global Affairs at Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University. Welcome to you, Sami. My first thought is, what is different about this ceasefire proposal from the previous ceasefire that was agreed upon and did not last? What reason do we have to think that this one will fare any better?
Well, it seems that the American side is intent on making sure that it works this time around, but there are some significant differences. The most major one is the number of captives that would be released. In the previous one, they wanted 10 captives, which are about half of the living ones remaining in Gaza, to be released within 8 days. This time around, the first day, 8 would be released, and 2 would be released on day 50. Hamas proposal in the past that the other 2 would be released on day 60. So that's closer to what Hamas demanded in the other proposal. Also, when it comes to the language, this language is a bit stronger about the commitment of the United States president to making sure that the ceasefire would last at least for 60 days, is mentioned in points 1, 7, and 13, which basically reiteration that he would be committed to make sure that Israel is not going to violate the ceasefire. The other points in the agreement are a bit ambiguous. That's why Hamas and the other resistance movements, they said they agree in principle, they are very positive about it, but they were seeking clarifications, particularly on the issues of withdrawal, because that left it to maps to be negotiated, as well as how many Palestinians would be released. This time around, it's not mentioned. In the previous one, there was about ratio 12-1 or so, and it's not clear how many Palestinians would be released for each captive. And finally, about the aid and who is going to distribute the aid, that is also not clear in the current agreement.
Some critics of Israel will say that Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't want to end this conflict, that he'll be very happy with the way that it's going, and that actually this will just be used as a 60-day break, and then the war will continue. Once Israel gets more hostages back, is there any genuine belief that it wants to stop?
Not really. I mean, that's a risk that the resistance and the Palestinians are taking. It doesn't seem that there is any way for the United States to pressure Israel except what they say, and that in the past did not work out very well, as you know. But I think there is another dynamic taking place now that might play a role, which is Trump. Trump is trying to broker a deal in the region in which there will be some sort of normalization, settlement, normalization deal between the Zionist regime and Saudi Arabia, and even possibly beyond Saudi Arabia. For that to happen, the war must end. So if Trump pushes hard in trying to make a political settlement in the region, I think that could probably spell out the end of the genocide. Also, another dynamic taking place is the withdrawal. If Israel is pushed to withdraw from its current positions, that would be an indication that this genocide might end soon. And also the political negotiations that would take place between the parties. The United States wants Hamas to take a back seat, and perhaps even, and Hamas has already said it's willing to abandon or to step down from its current position as the ruler of Gaza. If the United States embraces this concept and starts putting together a technocratic team, that could also give us an indication. But there is no guarantee at all that Israel would stop, particularly when you see the partners of Netanyahu, Ben Gvir and Smotrich, who would like to continue this war forever. And if they decide to withdraw from the government, that's going to basically endanger its presence and existence.
Sami, you referenced there the possibility of countries such as Saudi Arabia perhaps joining the Abraham Accords, normalizing relations with Israel. If enough countries were to do that and to establish peaceful relations with Israel, could you see any possibility down the road of that leading to perhaps Israeli recognition of a Palestinian state? Could that be a condition of joining the Accords?
It should be, but I doubt very, very much that Netanyahu and his right-wing government, or for that matter, the other coalition partner, the other non-coalition partners, the other parties in Israel, would be willing to see a Palestinian state. I think what people are talking about in order to pave the road for Saudi Arabia to join the Abrahamic Accords is some sort of a statement without any concrete actions. Because if you look at the composition of Israel's parties today, not only you have a right-wing government with Netanyahu, almost 68 members. But also, if you look at the others, like the other partners within the opposition, the majority of them also are not in favor of Palestinian state. At best, they would like to give perhaps autonomy, some sort of an autonomy, but all of them are for settlements. All of them are for non-Palestinian state, and none of them actually are voicing, with the exception, of course, the communists and the Arab parties.
Sami, thank you very much. My guest is Sami Al-Arian from the Global Affairs Centre at Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University.